Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Huskers ball, high right side. Mast shoots up another three. Got it! He's 3 for 3. Rink Mast.
She will reset with 12 on the shot clock. Once the screen gets it from Markowski to the right elbow, back out top. Markowski will shoot a three. You betcha! Ties the game. A three-pointer by Markowski off the assist from Hayes.
Lawrence with the ball. Cross court, midcourt to Tominaga. Shoots up a 30-footer. Got it! Bang! Bang! A ring! Tominaga with a three.
Goes off the bounce, goes behind her back, works foul line, Potts for three, top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, with a triple.
Ball knocked free, out of bounds, saved by Alec, clips it into Boogie, down the floor. Here comes a dunk by Jawan, hammers it home with the right hand. The net gets caught up on the rim.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Great to be with you here in 2024. You know, Jessica and I have not done a show together. I think it's been 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks. I think it was the 19th of December that we did a full show together. Great to be back with you tonight. We're not actually even in the same studio. I'm down in Orlando. I'm a part of the National Strength Coaches Association Coaches Conference. It's going on down here for the next couple of days. I've been working with the NSCA for the last 10 years. So I'm actually remote tonight. Jessica is back in the studios, but Happy New Year, Jess. It's just, I mean, that's crazy. I haven't seen you in over 2 weeks.
I know it is. It's wild, but Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Hey, the last time you went to this thing, you came back with some really good tidbits about like sleeping and napping and what you're supposed to do. And have you picked any of those up yet here?
Yeah, today I sat in on a nutrition lecture where they talked a lot about things that we talk about a lot on this program, and that's properly fueling athletes. But I had one guy put up a great quote that said, "Be where your feet are." And I thought, no, that's a really cool quote to start the year. And basically he was saying, don't think about what's next in your life and don't think about what's maybe next in even your day, but to be living in the present. And I thought that was a pretty cool little saying. So there's my first saying for 2024. On top of the resolutions that I made, I made the yearly resolution, Jess, to be kind to officials again in 2024. I do this every year, and I usually make it fairly far. And are you a resolution person?
Not really. No, I'm not. No? But I think probably just the healthy habits, all that kind of good stuff. If clean start to the first of the year, right? But I think there's a few people that are on our broadcast team that maybe should have the same resolution about being kinder to officials, Greg.
Oh, you think? Yeah, we've had some of our broadcasters chided by the officials during games. I'm not naming any names because that would not be. Oh, wow, you went there. I was not going to go there, but hey, speaking of big games, we got a big one tonight. You're going to talk to Jake Muhleisen here in a couple minutes. This is a big basketball game at PBA tonight. A lot of folks probably driving in, parking right now. This is a big opportunity for Fred Hoiberg and the guys. 11-2 start. This is the first of the next 18, which are all league games. This is a big one tonight.
Yeah, it really is. And I know Rink Mast was listed as questionable. I've been asking about him the last couple of weeks on the coaches' shows, and they've been both Nate Linzer and then Adam Howard last night said that he's been progressing along nicely. He's had a couple of full contact practices, but maybe some of it not wanting Indiana to know exactly what the game plan was moving forward, but they're definitely not going to push it. So if he gets out there and starts to go through warm-ups and maybe doesn't feel right, they're not going to put him out there and put him in a situation where it could tweak it. But we'll have to ask Jake, he's sitting courtside, what he's seen out of that and if he expects him to play. So hopefully we'll have a better idea here in the next couple of minutes. But, yeah, you got to protect the home court. I mean, it's just huge in the Big Ten Conference because it is so tough to go on the road. And you still a couple on the road, but you got to protect the home court. And certainly PBA has proved to be one of the tougher atmospheres once it really got rocking last year. And certainly Fred Hoiberg has been very complimentary of that and bragging on Husker Nation, and they're going to need him tonight. So, yeah, it's a big one and a big one in conference play here to protect the home court.
And Indiana's not full strength either. Xavier Johnson, their point guard, probably not going to play. And Khalil Ware, their transfer from Oregon, their big guy, also listed as questionable. So if Rank can't go, Indiana's not full strength. But huge game, pregame at about an hour, tip off a little bit after 8 o'clock tonight. It's the second game of a doubleheader on BTN tonight. Ohio State Rutgers tied at 8 at the under 16 timeout in the beginning of that game. Speaking of big games, Jessica, I know you had coaches shows last night, so you didn't have a chance to talk about it. But how incredible were those two semifinal games? I felt bad for your Longhorns, but those were two incredible football games that we were all treated to on New Year's Day. They lived up to the semifinal hype of a college football playoff.
Finally, right? I mean, we've had some really lopsided games and matchups in this historically where both of them were really good and entertaining, and you know, that's what you want in a college football playoff. And the last one, now here we go. We're going to hopefully see even better and more matchups. But, yeah, it was entertaining, so entertaining. That Michigan-Alabama game was just, every bit as advertised. And it was fun. And despite my losses, I will, chalk one up to being able to actually enjoy some games and not sitting there watching blowouts or turning it off because it's not that entertaining to watch. But both of them really had us entertained till the end.
I was here in Orlando that night, and so that second game didn't get over till almost 1 o'clock Eastern. It was really, really late. And I had some people ask me, why did they start those games so late? Well, it's the Rose Bowl. They say when we start our games, we have to start at 2 o'clock Pacific time because of the parade and to get everything in place. So they have to hold the start of the Rose Bowl until 2 Pacific. That's why it kicked it forward. That's why the Sugar Bowl was backed up late. But what a tremendous theater for college football. At halftime of the Sugar Bowl, they honored the AFCA Good Works team. I don't know who the young man was from Oklahoma that was honored. I think you maybe know his name. But he was on the AFCA Good Works team, good student athlete who does great things in the community. He was given the horns down sign the entire time they were on camera. I'm sure a lot of people, probably even a lot of Husker fans, love seeing that.
I wonder if he's a senior, so he just laid it all out there on the way out. Didn't have to worry about any of the backlash of that. But, yeah, Greg, I went to the Rose Bowl a couple years ago. Well, I guess it was, 2017? It was Baker Mayfield's Heisman year with Oklahoma. It is quite the production. It is unreal, like everything that surrounds it and that parade. And they park on golf courses and just getting into the stadium and the pageantry of that bowl game. There's just really no other way. But it wouldn't have been that, it wouldn't have been so bad to have it so late if it was on a Saturday or the Sunday, New Year's Eve, with New Year's Day off. But it just so happened that we all had to get up and go to work on the Tuesday following it. But it's just kind of how it's set up. But if it was on a Saturday, it'd be perfect, right? If it was that late.
Yeah. There's kind of a push going on right now to make the Rose Bowl the permanent host of the national championship game every year. I would sign up for that. I think it's a great setting, the San Gabriel Mountains, the sunset, play it at that time of day. But, yeah, get it around a weekend so people don't have to stay up so late into the night.
I guess the only thing about that, though, is that the Rose Bowl, the stadium itself is not that nice, It
is a little rundown. I know they have done some renovations for it, but I think, it's got some character to it that you can't put into a new NFL-type stadium like a lot of these bowl games are played in, like in Phoenix, or the Cotton Bowl's played in Jerry World in Dallas. It's just got that ambiance that a lot of people like. Speaking of, there is some Husker football news to relate to you. We're now in the middle of an NCAA window where transfer portal folks can come on and do an official visit on campus. It started today, runs through the 7th. I'm not at the stadium. You are. My guess is the speakers might be pumping some music throughout the concourse. The Huskers, and this is according to On3, are expecting 5 visits over the next 4 days. One is a Texas wide receiver, Isaiah Neyor, who started his career at Wyoming. He's expected to make a visit to Lincoln. So is Wake Forest wide receiver Jamal Banks. I talked about Banks last Wednesday night. I also talked about Oregon running back Dante Dowell. He is also expected to be here. A couple of new names that have popped up. Idaho linebacker Zaire Alexander. And just today, and this is all from On3, Syracuse linebacker Stephon Thompson, who would have played for Coach Tony White, 2 years ago for the Orange. Those 5 expected to be around here for the next 5 days.
Yeah, and it's lit, Greg. It really is. And Cole and I were talking about that earlier. There was the concourse is just full of people. They do such a great job, the recruiting team, of setting it all up. And, you know, it's just such an event when you come here and you come on your official visit. I was driving in to the studio, and it's a little foggy, a little misty here in Lincoln, and they've got, of course, all the lights on in the stadium, and then they've got the some of the red lights, and on the big screen the red glowing, and it just is such a cool look when you're driving in and you're seeing it just beaming, and with that fog, and then you pull up to it, it just, you know, it's just so daunting. I feel like it's overwhelming, and it's just, I don't know, it's captivating, and it just takes your breath away when you see the stadium lit up like that. And I just can only imagine what a player is driving into that, kind of seeing that and just knowing the history and the lure of it, but then also what that is going to be like when it's packed. And of course, Husker Nation shows out and they sell that every single game. But yeah, there were a ton of people down there. I know a lot of families are here, and then it'll be a weekend for sure. But I think you and I agree that maybe a wide receiver would be a really good get, an older veteran wide receiver. They've certainly got some really great young talent, and we saw some flashes from some guys that were, going to have some big time careers. But just having maybe a guy that's battle tested, that has some experience that you can add to go along with some of those younger wide receivers. I guess now they'll be sophomores, and then some of the freshmen coming in certainly would be good for this group to be able to have that older veteran presence like a Billy Kemp was, Samori Toure was a couple years ago. So, Cole, have we lost Greg? We lost Greg. All right. He's reconnecting. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and then step aside here. And coming up next on the other side of the break, we're going to talk to Jake Muhleisen. He's sitting courtside, getting ready. Oh, he's back. He's back. All right. You're back?
I'm sorry. I dropped out. Connectivity, right? Technology is a lovely thing. But I was talking about that On3 is reporting that there are 5 visitors, 2 of them wide receivers, Nayor from Texas and Banks from Wake that I did talk about last Wednesday night. And then a linebacker from Syracuse, a new addition. Again, this is from On3, Jessica, Stephon Thompson, who would have played for Tony White. So these visits expected to take place the next couple of days. Also, there's a lot of reports that Dylan Raiola is already in town. You might see him at the basketball game tonight. So Dylan excited to get here and jump in to start learning his new teammates. I think that's a great sign that Dylan's being that aggressive to be here on campus.
Well, yeah, and you heard him when I chatted with him on signing day, how much he loves going to all the different Husker events. So I wouldn't be surprised. I bet he's a face in the crowd quite often. But yeah, he seems so eager and hungry and ready to be here. And so, yeah, I think we'll start seeing him and starting to help recruit guys and coming in. And that's such a big part of it is having those guys come in here and give their sell while they're here. Why did the number 1 quarterback in the nation decide to come to Nebraska? Let him give his pitch, and I'm sure he'd be able to sell a lot of guys on that. So big weekend for sure. I was saying before you got back in that I think you and I both agree that a veteran presence at in that wide receiver room with so many young wide receiver talent would be really big for this team, this offense, to get a veteran player that's played some big minutes and has been battle tested.
Well, Marcus Washington, we know, is not coming back. Billy Kemp exhausted his eligibility. I don't think they're probably going to get the waiver on IGC. Hopeful, maybe Isaiah can come back. But you just got so many young guys. You could use somebody who's kind of been through the battles a few times. I know Jake's chomping at the bit to jump on board with us, but I do want to talk real quickly, Jessica, before we go to the break, about the monster volleyball news that came out over the last couple of days. And that was the announcement that in the transfer portal, John Cook has acquired Tater Landfair, who is the Landfair, who was the Big Ten Player of the Year a year ago at Minnesota. She got in the portal. She's going to be a Cornhusker. Wow, what a huge addition. She's an outside hitter. So, Jess, you put her in that battle with Merritt Beeson, and you've got Harper Murray and Batenhorst and Krause. It's a loaded outside hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. But I loved what she posted on why she was – deciding to transfer and all the decision that went into it. She went through a lot of details and said that, she had thought Minnesota would be her home. And then when the coach had retired suddenly, it's not what she had expected. And so she wanted to stick it out, give it a chance. But, the reason why she landed on Nebraska, I mean, she knows the competition that she's walking into, but she knows that that's what breeds success. That's what makes you better. And I had a quote here. It's a highly competitive program, and I'm up for the challenge. Here are a few sayings that the most impactful mentors in my life have used that have stuck with me throughout the years. Greatest isn't given, it's earned, and growth does not come out of comfort. I'm so excited and honored to be a part of Husker Nation. So, hey, she's ready to come in and embrace that challenge. And iron sharpens iron, and that's why that gym, they compete. They are fiery, and when they battle each other, it's a heck of a battle. But that's what makes them better, and that's what makes them Olympic caliber, Team USA caliber type of athletes, which a lot of these players that are coming to Nebraska aspire to be when they're done wearing the Husker uniform. And it's proven that this system, Coach Cook, this coaching staff can get you there. And certainly it sounds like those are the aspirations for her too, to extend her career. And this is the best step for her to be able to do that.
What do you make? There's been some Texas fans sniping back at Nebraska and John Cook, who got asked about Texas's makeup of their roster after the national championship game. And he goes, hey, some people choose to build their team through the portal. That's not really our style. Texas fans are going, oh, well, what are you doing? I don't think adding one player is really that's not really building your program that way. Do you view it that way?
No. I mean, look at the freshmen that we're playing, and the Allie Batenhorst, Lindsey Krause, Lexi Rodriguez. Like, they came through the system, and they're built that way. And that's how Amy Williams' women's basketball team is too. I mean, yeah, look, the portal is part of it. You have to embrace the portal. You have to go after players in the portal. It's where we are in college sports. But for the women's teams here, specifically the volleyball team and the women's basketball team, they build it through recruiting and bringing those guys up from freshmen on, and then they add some of those key pieces that are needed. Or if someone like a Taylor or a Mara Beeson enters the portal, yeah, you're going to absolutely go after them. Why wouldn't you? And so it's not, though, that they are built on that. And you could argue now, probably maybe not a national championship team or national runner-up team without Merritt Beeson, but without Merritt Beeson coming from the portal, you could argue that this team could make a pretty deep run, without that portal addition. And certainly it's proven that they can make a deep run without this addition. It's just kind of, adding more wealth to it, but it's not like it is contingent upon and hanging upon that portal and those additions from the portal. And it's fine. Some programs are. I mean, you could argue, look at the Nebraska men's program have certainly really benefited from the transfer portal. There's no right or wrong reason to it. And I don't think Coach Cook was making a stab at it. It was more so just, this is how we're doing it. That's how they do it. We just do it differently. It's just, it's kind of part of it, and people do it however it best fits their program.
Plus, he got asked about it 5 minutes after losing a national championship game, so
right.
Cut the guy a little bit of slack. One final volleyball note, Skylar Pierce, who signed with Nebraska back in November. Oh, by the way, she was named the MVP of the Under Armour All-American match that was on ESPNU yesterday. So she's going to be a great player when she gets here as well. Well, folks, you could win a 2024 Porsche from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans are going to have a chance to win that Porsche if they can make a full court putt at halftime of a men's game. For more information and to get the official rules, go to huskers.com/putt. Well, he's also a good golfer, but he's a pretty good analyst. He's going to join us next. Jake Muhleisen to break down the Huskers matchup with Indiana. It's coming up next.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. You can trust Innovation Refunds with your small business's ERC claim because of their SOC 2 Type 1 security compliance. Without this, how can you be sure a company can protect your information? It's not like here on the radio, where all you need to be secure is a censor button. My password to my bank account is Ty's cool password 1. Uh-oh. Luckily, Innovation Refunds is more reliable. Go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS to get started.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Hi, this is Husker national champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We're approaching the 90-minute mark out from tip-off in the big one, the big matchup over at Pinnacle Bank Arena between Nebraska and Indiana as Big Ten play resumes for Husker men's basketball. And we are excited to be joined by Jake Muhleisen, who is sitting courtside. Thanks for joining us, Jake. First of all, how is Kent Pavelka doing tonight? How's KP?
Well, Jessica, thanks for having me on. But you know KP, he's always anxious, nervous, excited, all of the above. But he's pretty pumped up for this one. He called me on his way down to Lincoln. He lives up in Omaha, as you know, and he gives me a call about 1 o'clock and just said, I'm so fired up for this game. So that got me fired up when I was at work. So I think everybody's excited to see this matchup, a late game, so it should be a really good crowd.
He's got the candy popcorn all ready to go?
No candy yet, but we're going to get some, and he always brings me the popcorn. So he always goes into the lounge and grabs some popcorn for us. So we'll have some shortly and start our pregame ritual.
Hey, you heard Greg just bragging on you about your golf game. You can confirm or deny that you're a pretty good golfer?
I completely deny that. His sources are way wrong, but I would love to try that putt for the Porsche just to see if I can make it. But what I would do, though, I have not seen anybody do this. If they set up the plank on the other side, I would want them to count the floorboards to tell me where the hole's at, and I would put the ball right there and just try to putt it straight down the floorboard.
Hey, there you go. So if you're listening and you get chosen to putt for it, there's your some strategy right there.
Right?
All right, well, let's get into this one tonight. First of all, the big news, Rink Mast. Is he going to play? What's he look like? Has he been out on the floor? What's the status there?
Yeah, he's going to play from what I've heard, and Kent saw shoot around, so he's out there shooting around, said he looked good, moving around at least. I'll be curious to see how many minutes he actually plays, but he's going to be important in this game because, as you saw, especially in that Kansas State game, he's able to stretch the floor for us. But I'm going to guess he probably plays 15, 20 minutes, and they really watch his minutes and try to sub and keep the load and manage his load in this game. But he's going to be a huge piece against Indiana. They're 6'9" and 7 foot down low, so we need to pull their bigs out. They're averaging 6 blocks a game, so if we can get their bigs out of the paint, that'll create some driving opportunities for our guards.
Indiana's full strength too, right?
What's that?
Indiana's full strength too, right?
They're full strength too, yeah. Khalil Ware is playing, and then Xavier Johnson, who's been out with a foot injury, he's back. He's only played in 6 games this season. He's their starting point guard and kind of their emotional leader. So it'll be interesting to see how rusty he is. I mean, he hasn't played since mid-November. So it'll be interesting to see if he has any rust in his game. But everybody's full strength, so no excuses for either team tonight.
You mentioned maybe might be limited a little bit in the minutes for Rink Mast, and we've seen just how huge of a part of this team he is and how big he is to the offense and just making things go. But how did you like the way maybe the team managed without him if his minutes are limited really over the last couple of games?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think without him, it gave some guys some opportunities. Primarily Eli Rice off the bench. I thought he's played really well, kind of playing that 4 or 5 spot for us and kind of being that stretch 4. But I thought Juwan Gary stepped up. I thought Alec played the post like he needed to, and even Matar Joe played well. But I think it gave some guys some minutes that normally wouldn't have gotten some had Mast been healthy in those 2 games. But it was an opportunity for him to get his knee right before the gauntlet of Big Ten play here, starting with Indiana tonight. But I gave those guys some opportunities. Eli Rice, he comes off the bench, made some big threes at K-State. He's just learning defensively. He really is trying to learn his rotation and playing straight man-to-man. So he's learning on that side. But offensively, he's about as talented as we have.
How about the spark from C.J. Wilcher that he's provided over the last couple of games, and really just the way that he's accepted his role?
Yeah, he's been awesome off the bench. I mean, he's a guy that's has a lot of career starts under his belt. So for him to accept the role of coming off the bench just shows how close this team is. And you can see it game to game where everybody on the bench is engaged. They're cheering on teammates, and they're genuinely happy for the success of each player. But he's been awesome off the bench. He's been shooting the ball extremely well. And what I love about it, he's really relished the defensive responsibilities as well. That's kind of been his Achilles heel the last few years, but he's been playing great defense as well. And not only is he making threes, too, on the offensive end, he's slashing, getting to the rim, and finding some open teammates as well.
Well, 11-2, one of the best starts in program history. Not quite to the midseason, but I did want to ask you at this point, who's your midseason MVP?
Oh, that's a great question. Mid-season MVP.
Because I feel like there's a few that you could choose from, right?
There definitely is, and I would probably start with either Juwan Gary or Rink Mast. And I say those 2 guys just simply what they've done the last 4 or 5 games. I mean, you look at Juwan Gary, his rebounding and defense. He's the guy, the Energizer Bunny, if you will, playing extremely hard. He sets the tone and the energy level for this team, and he can guard 1 through 5. You just saw what he did in the second half at Kansas State in Manhattan, where he got 11 offensive rebounds in the second half alone and really kind of pushed us over the edge to win that game and really expand that lead in the second half. And then, Rink Mast, he's been Mr. Consistent. almost averaging a double-double, 13 and 10. So I think those two guys you can point to, but you could also call, Bryce Williams. I mean, he's been really consistent offensively, and he's probably our most talented offensive player. But I would start with Juwan and Rink Mast as the MVP so far this year.
Do you sometimes want Bryce Williams to be more aggressive and look for a shot more?
I do.
Yeah.
I think he's so even keeled where I'd love to see him get excited, get mad a little bit. But when he gets that look in his eyes, though, he can score in ways. But I'd love to see him be more aggressive, because even when he's being aggressive, he doesn't necessarily have to score or even attempt a shot. But if he's being aggressive, teams have to come and help. And when they do that, he can find teammates. And we've proven that we have some good shooters. We have 7 guys shooting 33% or better from 3. So if he's finding some guys on the perimeter, we have the opportunity to knock down some shots from 3.
All right, so far, what's been more impressive to you, the assists or the rebounds for this team?
Oh, rebounds. I mean, You watch the last handful of years with Nebraska basketball, we've struggled on that rebounding side. But this year, when we're at our best, we're getting stops, we're getting defensive boards, and what we're doing is we're turning defense into offense. And it's not like we're pushing the tempo at an extremely high pace, but when we get those defensive boards, we're very opportunistic in what we do in transition. I think that's when we're at our best. We're finding guys up the floor, and if we don't have anything, we pull it out, and we've been working the ball to get a good shot. But we've been taking those shots quick when we have those opportunities and really putting pressure on opposing teams' D.
So we had Adam Howard on the show last night. He had talked about how, he had never really gotten nervous before games, so he starts playing in the Big Ten. I mean, it's such a challenge night in and night out, and now here we are full speed ahead into conference play. Just what's kind of the keys? What are the keys for this team to approach the Big Ten and getting themselves to where maybe they're in a position to start talking a postseason berth?
Yeah, Big Ten is just another animal. You look at just the we've already played 2 games, and with 18 games ahead of us, you just kind of get nervous. Kent and I get nervous as broadcasters. We have so much invested. We feel a part of a team, but these guys that are playing, they're ready to play in Big Ten. That's why you come to Nebraska. That's why you put on the Huskers across your chest on your jersey, because you want to come in here and you play the Big Ten, the best in the country. I feel like, I know people will argue which conference is the best in the country, but year in and year out, it's the Big Ten, and I'm just excited to get it started here, and I'm excited I'm anxious for tonight. It's just a big game for both teams in reality.
Okay, let's talk defense. And, what does this team need to do to slow down? They've got, 5 guys that are averaging double figures, led by Malik Renault, who's arguably the one of the breakout guys in the conference this year. What are the keys defensively to slow down this Indiana attack?
You have to make them shoot from the perimeter. And we talked about rebounding. So when you force them to shoot and attempt threes, you got to get those defensive boards. It's a team right now only making 4.5 threes per game, shooting just over 32%. But the scary thing about this team is they're kind of finding their way from downtown. They're making 7 threes per game, shooting 39% the last 6 games. So it kind of makes you nervous coming into this game. I want that team that's making 4 threes per game, not the one that's making 7. But you have to force them to shoot from the perimeter to stop their offense. And then down low, you mentioned Renew and where those guys make this team go, and they're going to try to pound it inside. So it'll be imperative that we don't send them to the foul line. They're making 17 free throws per game, so we can't give them easy ones at the foul line. We've been very good at not fouling, so that has to hold true in tonight's game. And then I think we have to turn them over. I think with the games that they've lost big, you look at Auburn, they lost 104-76. They turned the ball over way too much. So if we can turn them over, get the crowd involved, I think that'll be huge here tonight against the Hoosiers.
All right, and on the flip side, offensively, what needs to happen for Nebraska?
Yeah, we got to play inside out. I think when we're at our best, I mentioned our turning some defense into offense and trying to get those transition opportunities. If we just flatten that defense out by pushing the tempo a little bit, if we don't have a shot, pull it out, and then we have to go back inside. We're really good when we're either passing to the post with Mass or Alec, or we're dribble driving. And if we get in the paint and we force them to collapse, then we kick out to shooters, that's when we're at our best. We have guys that can finish at the rim. But when we're playing inside out and not just settling for threes early, and being the aggressive team, that's really when we have a lot of success. And I keep going back to that K-State game, especially that second half, because that's probably the best half we played on both ends of the floor. We were really attacking inside early in that second half and then making threes about midway through because they were forced to suck in.
All right, great stuff. Keep KP in line. You got his heart monitor, the health monitor ready to go for this one in case?
Yeah, I'm going to make him take his watch off before the game. So I don't need the emergency services being called in, then coming over to the scorer's table to help save him.
I guess you have a seatbelt because sometimes he tends to stand up in these games, right?
Oh yeah, he'll be standing up. He'll be fired up. So I gotta try to make sure he stays in his seat. I might get a seatbelt out of my car to strap him down.
All right, appreciate it. We'll look forward to hearing much more of you guys coming up with a call here at 7 o'clock.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it.
And that is Jake Muhleisen. He'll be on the call with Kent Pavelka here coming up in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to step aside for another break. We got a couple segments here left on Sports Nightly. Greg is coming back. And if you got some texts rolling in, we'll check those out. If you want to be a part of it, the Woodhouse Auto family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker national champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. I'm going to show you my steps for making the perfect radio ad. This one's about innovation refunds and the ERC. First step, be relatable. I like pizza and puppies. 2, cold hard info. The ERC is a tax credit for eligible businesses that kept employees on payroll in 2020 and 2021. So if you qualify, Innovation Refunds Network of Independent Tax Attorneys could help you claim it. 3, go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail Taman 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Are you a hardworking individual who wants to learn, grow, and thrive in your career? Kidwell is looking for electrical apprentices, journeymen, and low-voltage technicians in Omaha, Lincoln, and Kearney. Whether you are in the market for an entry-level or senior position, there is a place for you at Kidwell. Learn more and view current openings at kidwellcareers.com. Must be 17 years or older and pass the background check, drug screen, and physical. Kidwell, see beyond. Inspiring connectivity and communication since 1948.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, I'm down in Orlando at the National Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association Conference. Jessica's in our Acres Broadcast Center. Great to hear from Jake, and good news. I mean, boy, you Rink out there went through the shoot-around today. That is just a huge boost, Jessica, to get him back, even if he can only play 10 or 15 minutes tonight.
Think about the perfect timing of, addressing that issue and being able, him only missing 2 games, but them being able to, space it out, give him some time and get those 2 wins. And but great that he's back so soon, and he's a big part and going to be a big part moving forward.
Yep, huge. Big game tonight, 8 o'clock. They're nearing halftime. Ohio State's having their way with the Rutgers up 17 in the pregame before the Indiana and the Nebraska game. Well, last week I dropped the ball. At the end of the month, we're supposed to name our BMO Athlete of the Week. I think it's because you weren't there with me last week to pick out an athlete. So let's go back and move our minds back into December. Who do you think are some of our prime candidates for our BMO Athlete of the Month?
Well, I'll start with the team that's playing tonight, men's basketball, with picking up the wins over Michigan State, snapping that streak. Kansas State, it was a big win, and when you talk about their resume and being able to go get that win on the road, what they did defensively, and so I started there, and then 11-2, one of the best starts in program history. So Juwan Gary, Rink Mast, maybe huge in that stretch, but then also for Nebraska women's basketball, Alexis Markowski had a double-double every single game in December. They had the huge win over Maryland. Georgia Tech, was a big bounce-back win, and they bounced back from that Kansas loss, and she's had a couple of 20-point double-doubles. Throw Jazz Shelley in there. She had the triple-double and then had the double-double, the win over Maryland. So I think for me, I think we had volleyball in November, so I was trying to spread it out a little bit. So I went with the couple men's or women's basketball players. So you can debate me there.
Yeah, it's tough to not think about volleyball making the run in the NCAA tournament to the national championship game. And then I'll throw a couple of wrestlers. Ridge Lovett and Peyton Robb both won. They're both undefeated on the year. They both won titles out at the Cliff Keen tournament out in Vegas as well. I think we got plenty of candidates. It would be hard for me to pick one of the volleyball players. I don't know which one you go with. Probably Merritt. Maybe he had the best NCAA tournament, but man, they made it all the way to the national championship game. So it's a hard one. I mean, we do still have 3 months of basketball, hopefully 3 full months of basketball ahead of us.
Yeah, and 3 full months, almost 3 months of wrestling too. But we're about to have lots of options here coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks where everybody crosses over. But yeah, I figured since we went volleyball in November, I think we went Bergen Riley, Becca Alec, maybe you could add on that list, but I just, with the start for the men and what they were able to do, getting those 2 big wins over Michigan State and Kansas State, I'll give the nod, and I'll go to Juwan Gary and the monster games that he's had on the boards and all the many different things that he does for this team with Rink kind of being out those last 2 games. I'll give the nod to Juwan Gary for my BMO player of the month of December.
I like it. BMO is a proud sponsor of the Huskers Radio Network. We're committed to helping our customers make real financial progress. To learn more, visit BMO.com. Wrestling is home this weekend. They got a couple home duels this weekend. Women's gym starts their season on the road at Iowa State. And then remember, Sunday is PAC PBA. Husker women, who will play at Wisconsin tomorrow night, will be home Sunday at 1 o'clock against Indiana, another really good basketball team. So keep that in mind for your Sunday plans. We now know the time. We were TBA on that game until just 2 days ago, but it is PAC PBA on Sunday for women's basketball against Indiana. The men play Indiana tonight, so keep that in mind for you.
And Greg should mention it was, it's also, they're going to retire Jordan Hooper's jersey. It's Alumni Day. A lot of great things going on, and certainly this team. I talked to Natalie Potts today. We heard from Coach Amy Williams last night. It's just so critical. They fuel this team, both the men's team and the women's team. But this is a big matchup against Indiana on Sunday. They're a great basketball team. Mackenzie Holmes, one of the best players in the nation. But then, oh, by the way, all the special things that are going on around that. And, hey, there's been a lot being said about, the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's show fans, let's show the college basketball, women's college basketball world that it's not just about Caitlin Clark in the Big Ten, that, hey, PBA can pack it out too.
Very good. Also, I do want to mention that we've got women's gym we talked about. Men's gym starts in a couple of weeks, so a lot of those things starting to really pop here. On our text line, we had a text about when's the next kicking back with the Cooks. We don't know. It hasn't been set yet. We're letting Coach Cook get a little time away. We kind of go with what he and Lauren put together. We will definitely let you know when there's one being recorded, but we don't have a solid date. And Rudy in Florida said he doesn't care about supporting those officials. Just get it right. Yeah, I think he's right, don't you?
Also had a stab at the replay, guys, too. Hey, I will say I'm working on getting, I've already got it cleared with Becca, just got to get it on the schedule, but getting Becca and Josiah in here together. So if you're wanting to have some volleyball on the show, hopefully that will be here pretty soon. And hey, we're going to do the dig, maybe drop in one a month here throughout the spring. So hopefully maybe we'll get a dig going on here in the next couple of weeks, but we'll get you some volleyball content coming up.
When's our next sighting of the big dog?
Oh, we taped the pod today, so I'll drop it in the morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go.
He had a lot of good stuff to say. He's pretty excited about that group of offensive linemen that Coach Raiola just signed, and Coach Rule, and adding that to that depth and building from within. He was pumped about it.
Gibson Pyle, Grant Bricks, and Garrett Nelson all playing in the All-American All-Star game coming up in a couple of days. So Huskers will be well represented in that game. Cam Lenhart played in one of those a year ago along with Ethan Nation. So Nebraska getting those guys who are playing those postseason All-Star games. There's also one going on in Hawaii. A couple of Huskers are going to head over there and play in that one as well. Cole is screaming at me to take a break, so I don't want to get on Cole's bad side to start 2024. So we'll work our final break in and say goodnight to all you here coming up next.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. You can trust Innovation Refunds with your small business's ERC claim because of their SOC 2 Type 1 security compliance. Without this, how can you be sure a company can protect your information? It's not like here on the radio, where all you need to be secure is a censor button. My password to my bank account is Ty's cool password 1. Uh-oh. Luckily, Innovation Refunds is more reliable. Go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS to get started.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker national champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. They've got 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, I'm down in Orlando, the NSCA National Convention that I help MC. They use whatever talents I have to their abilities down here. And Jessica's back in the studio. We're about to hand it off to Kent and Jake for Husker pregame coverage. I know a lot of you may be driving into the PBA parking right now down there. Maybe you're just walking out of some dinner down in the Haymarket area. Go see a huge basketball game. Ohio State's up 13 at the half on Rutgers. I think the Buckeyes are pretty good. They're also, like Nebraska, 11-2 on the year.
Hey, Greg, by the way,
Jessica,
did you hear, I guess it was during the commercial break, Jake came on and asked where you were, and Cole said, Greg's a bodybuilder now, a strength and conditioning coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing my crunches right now. So here we go. So
you said crunches as you were doing like jumping jacks.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time my body saw one of those things happen. But this has been a fun show. Tomorrow night we have another short show, not as short as this one, 90 minutes tomorrow night. The women play up in Wisconsin against the Badgers, and then we'll have Jessica will have a full 2-hour show coming your way on Friday night. I know who I'm picking in the national championship game. Have you thought that far ahead?
No, I have not, but I will probably pick it wrong, whatever I do. I do think.
Yeah, you've had a rough bowl season.
Yeah. Well, no, wasn't I all right the first week, but the second week I was bad. I was real bad last week, but I don't know. It's hard because Washington looked really good. They're so explosive, but then, the physicality of Michigan, I don't know. I have to think about it.
Should be a great game. That's Monday night. So we will not have a full coaches show on Monday. We usually have our men's basketball show on Monday nights. We'll have an interview sitting down with Coach Hoiberg, but he wants to watch the game. So we're going to do a short segment with Coach on Monday night and then watch the college football championship on Monday night from Houston is where it is this year. It's going to put a wrap on our 1-hour show. Great to be back with Jessica. It's been over 2 weeks since we've done a show together. Thanks to Jake for pulling himself away from Kent and the popcorn to join us and give us a preview of the Indiana game. And thanks to Cole, he decided to work tonight after my dream last week that he took the night off. He did work tonight. Enjoy the game tonight. Go Big Red, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker national champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. The proceeds have helped protect and improve Nebraska's environment, funded need-based scholarships for Nebraska students, and maintained and improved facilities at the State Fair.
That's terrific. You should put that on your website.
It already is. Just click on beneficiaries in the menu.
Menu? You guys serve food too?
Maybe you should get off your feet for a while.
The Nebraska Lottery. 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Huskers Radio Network.
It's time for Husker Courtside.
Here's a drive by Wilcher under the hoop, puts it up and in and one. Walker, jump pass, left corner, Lawrence three. It's in and out and in again. Another three by Lawrence. Sit out, Sam Hoiberg's got a good look. The three on the way. Bang! Bang!
Husker Courtside, brought to you locally by Portions of Husker Courtside are brought to you by Midwest Ford. Let's go courtside with the voice of Huskers men's basketball, Kent Pavelka.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to University of Nebraska basketball. Kent Pavelka, Jake Muhleisen from Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln. We're back at it tonight. Big Ten conference play resuming, full blast from this point through 18 more regular season games. Non-con is over. 2 Big Ten conference games under Nebraska's belt, 18 to go, the first of which is tonight against the Indiana Hoosiers at home. Nebraska 11-2 on the season, 1-1 in the conference. In league play, losing in early December at Minnesota, but beating Michigan State at home. Indiana, meantime, 10-3 on the year, 2-0 in the conference. Indiana up on top early on in the league standings, along with Illinois and Wisconsin, all at 2-0. Indiana's 2 league games, a road win at Michigan, and then a conference win over Maryland at home. So the Hoosiers coming in here at 10-3, Nebraska 11-2. We'll talk a lot about this Indiana team. By the way, our tip-off is coming up a little bit after 8 o'clock Central Time. This is a late start, and it'll be interesting to see if that affects the size of the crowd. We think it's going to be a dandy crowd, perhaps not entirely sold out here at PBA. We'll have to wait and see. But, Jake, before we talk about Indiana, Huskers, as I said, 11-2 overall, 1-1 in the conference. Now, there's 18 games to go, 9 at home, 9 on the road. I just like your assessment now of what this team has become since the beginning of the season and what your crystal ball reveals about the next 2 months.
Oh, man, I wish I had a great crystal ball. Sometimes it works, Ken, sometimes it doesn't. But, man, you can't be disappointed on how this season has gone thus far. As you mentioned, 11-2 so far in all games and 1-1 in league. Now, you could go back and, if we would have won at Minnesota, but you could look at that Michigan State game. That could have gone the other way as well. We were able to come back and win that game in the last 4 minutes. So you could always overanalyze that. But you look at the games the Creighton game and then at Minnesota. The Creighton game, we played bad, they played well. That's pretty much sums that game up. And then you'd love to have that Minnesota game back. But as this progressed, and after those 2 losses, you go Michigan State at home, you beat them, and then you go on the road. We're sitting there in Manhattan, and you watch K-State warm up, and hostile environment. You go, we're going to see what this team's made out of. And, we're down 3 at halftime. We come out and really just punched them in the face. And I think that really has set the tone for this team on how to play, the right way to play. I think guys are starting to find their roles now with Mass being out the last couple games. I think that's given some guys some opportunities. You use Eli Rice as an example, and Job got some minutes as well. So I think that could bode well for Nebraska, heading into conference play. But I think we've kind of found our identity, and I think our identity is defensive-minded, and we're going to be the aggressive team defensively. And then on the offensive end is we push the tempo, play inside out. I mean, that's a very quick, high-level summary of what this team has become. But I think you have guys like Bryce Williams, who's really kind of finding his way a little bit. Jawan Gary